everybody. Welcome to my Instagram live. I took notes for you guys today, so I'll be going off. So I'm going to talk to you about all my productivity hacks to actually freaking focus. Because, okay, so I told myself this story that once I quit my job, I would be so excited to run my own business that it would be so easy for me to work by myself all day. I wanted for years and years to run my own business and quit my job. So obviously, once I actually quit, I'd be so excited and motivated. And that's not what happened. I feel like I was burnt out from working a full-time job and then coming home at night every single day to work, that I really took it slow with myself, because when I was burnt out. So my first week off, I wanted to be motivated and I wanted to do all the things, but I just didn't. I just didn't feel as motivated as I could have. So I spent the first 2 weeks, well, I spent every week, but I really spent the first week of my entrepreneurship journey just doing whatever I felt like. Yeah, I had to be productive, but I put no pressure on myself to get sales. I put no pressure on myself to book so many people or come up with new products. I just put pressure on myself to figure out what I like doing the most. Then I started creating a routine slowly every week by learning, when am I the most energetic? When am I the best at critical thinking? When do I feel like working out? When do I not feel like working out at all? I really used my own energy cycles to figure out how to be the most productive in my day. So my first week, I was all over the place. I didn't really work that many hours per day because I spent so long figuring out what works for me, where now I'm so productive. I worked the entire weekend. Literally, I probably worked at least an 8-hour day on Sunday. Yesterday, I probably worked for 5 hours. Saturday, I worked for 5 hours. I literally worked this entire weekend because I got the motivation back and I'm so excited to be freaking productive. So here's exactly what helped me get motivated. So the first thing is that I needed to use a project management tool. I use Asana right now. So a project management tool helps me manage everything that's going on. So I have a team member, a VA, who helps me do stuff online. So he helps me with my blog posts, videos, Pinterest, emails, literally everything he helps with. But it's sometimes so hard to coordinate because I would have to email him every single day with a new task. And it'd be easier if we had a board where we could both see the deadlines and what needs to be done, how exactly to do everything, have all the trainings in one fell swoop. So it's not just for me, but also for him to coordinate. So you can have different boards with different categories and assign everyone tasks, assign due dates, assign subtasks, and it's been so helpful. So the reason why, if you have no game plan, it can be so hard to know what to do in the moment. When I wake up on Monday, what do I do today? I can't always think of the most important task to do at that moment. But when I have Asana and I have all my projects laid out with all the deadlines, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to get that done today. Or, oh yeah, I have to get that done by tomorrow, so I better start working on it. Or, oh, I want to launch this by this date, so going backwards, here's what I have to do up to this day. Yeah, I literally log in every day and check things off. And the best part of a to-do list is literally clicking check off and mark as complete. So I love marking everything as complete. I love checking things off, and it's been so helpful to see what's done, what's not, what has my VA done, what do I still need to do. So it's been really great. I also made an Asana board for my wedding and for my life. So for chores and stuff like that. So me and my fiance have one where we write down what chores need to be done every day. For our wedding, what needs to be done by when do we need to pay certain vendors, when do we need to book this. So we have a wedding one, a lifeline, and then I have my business ones, and they've been crazy helpful in logging in every day and cranking out tasks. So I'm not wasting time. One of the biggest time wasters for me was sitting here thinking okay, so what do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? And constantly using all that mental energy to decision make. But that decision make factor is totally gone because I just log into Asana and look at my to-do list, and it's so helpful. The second tool that I like to use is called Toggle. So I'm looking at my notes. So the second tool I love to use is called Toggle. I've been using this for a while, but I've started using it a lot more recently. So Toggle is really great for managing a timer. I use Toggle all the time, literally every single day, to track my time. My VA has been using Toggle forever since he started. So he just goes in and times everything he's doing so I can see how much he's working every single day. You can also send reports over Toggle, and I use it to see what I'm working on every day. So it helps me plan for the next week and the next week and the next week. So when I see editing YouTube videos is taking me like 8 hours and emails is like 2 hours, then I can manage my time wisely when planning out for the next week. Because entrepreneurs like have this constant feeling, and I still have it, of like, oh my God, there's 8,000 things I need to do and I've done 3 of them. And it's so hard to know, like, to get everything done on time. It's like impossible. So there's always stuff that I want to be doing that I just simply don't have time for. And so Toggle really helps like track how long everything takes so I can more accurately plan what I can actually get done, what I need to hire out, what I want someone else to be doing, what I don't want to be spending time on in the future, which tasks make me more money, which tasks don't make me any money, and I can see how my time being used translates to like profit. I mean, that's how we make money as business owners. Toggle's so easy. It's free, TOGGL.com, and you just go to the timer and click time, and that's it. It's so simple to use. So it's one of my favorite tools. It also helps with my third productivity hack, which is batching. So we've all probably heard of batching, but I want to dive into the exact batching that I found helpful. So if you guys have any questions, write them in the comments. If you have your own tips, write them in the comments. I'm so excited to see what you guys use too. But I found batching really helpful. So I've known I wanted to do batching for a long, long time. It's hard with a corporate job. People say to do it, and I try to do it, but with a corporate job, it's so hard because I could never predict like when I would have time to do all this stuff, or what days would work or what days wouldn't work. So with a corporate job, it was so hard for me to batch, even though I tried my hardest. And then once I quit my corporate job, I was just doing everything like, woo, what do I feel like doing for my first 2 weeks? So I didn't really batch anything. And now that I've gotten to learn about myself, now I do the batching, and it's so helpful, because one reason why batching works is because we lose a lot of productivity multitasking and task switching. It's been proven over and over and over. Everyone thinks they can multitask, and no one can. We can only focus on one thing at a time. And every time our brain has to switch tasks as well, we lose momentum, and we have to like restart our brain and use tons of energy refocusing on the next tasks. So the more we switch, the less productive we get. So I like to use Toggle to see how much I'm task switching as well as how well I'm batching. So I've noticed I get a lot more done, and I know I get a lot more done because I'm tracking all my data in Toggle. I know I get a lot more done when I batch stuff. So I want to get into my exact batching schedule, and I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys do batching? Do you guys use Toggle? Do you guys use Asana? I want to hear all your favorite tools as well. But batching has been working really, really well for me. So what I've been batching is I batch like the day and the week. So I should have created a chart for you, but I didn't yet. But it's okay. So for example, Tuesday, you saw on my Instagram story, maybe I wrote Tuesday is client day. So client day is today, and I have 3 coaching calls, and I had 3, but now I have 4 Money Coach Mastermind interviews. So I have 4 Money Coach Mastermind interviews, and so talking to all these people all day, I have 7 calls. So batching is super important, because if I put client calls every day, which I used to do because I didn't have as much flexibility when I had my corporate job. So if I have 7 calls, I have to use every day of the week to complete them. But now I have everyone scheduled Tuesday or Thursday. Those are my 2 call days. Tuesday is my longer day though, so I go until 10 p.m. I literally have calls sometimes 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Today, my earliest call was 9, and my latest call ends at 8:20 p.m. So I'm literally on calls all day. But I love it, and client calls light me up. So Tuesday is one of my favorite days. I love talking to my clients. They excite me so much. I already had such good ones, and I can't wait to see how these women are going to absolutely change their life. So I love the client calls, but it is energetically draining to have to like reset. Like I can't, maybe this is just me, but I'm one of those people who I can't know I have to write an essay if I know I have to talk to a client in an hour, because then I'm just thinking about that client, and I'm thinking of ideas for them, and I'm like going over their stuff that they sent me like over and over and over, and I can't concentrate on my essay. Where it puts me at peace to know on like, okay, Tuesday I do all my calls, and then Wednesday is content creation. Nobody's gonna call me, nobody's gonna talk to me. I can just sit in my little office and like write. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are free for me to do everything else, all the back end stuff, all the time management, all the content creation. So Friday, what I do, now I batched this in my schedule as well. So Friday, after I do all these Instagram lives every single day, I edit them for my YouTube channel. I just created this also after I quit. So this is all very new, but I love sharing you guys like what I do behind the scenes so like you can start doing it also. Now I make Friday my video editing day. So every Friday, I just sit down and crank through all my Instagram lives. So there's typically 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I go on every weekday. Yesterday was President's Day, so I didn't go on this week, but typically I do. And then Friday, I just go through and edit all those videos and schedule them out on YouTube to post the next week. So this live, it's better if you join live because you can ask questions and we can like interact. But Mondays, I typically do a lot of communication. So Mondays, I answer all my emails. Typically by Monday, a lot of emails have like piled up over the weekend and there might have been stuff I didn't get to during the week. So Monday, I clear out all my communication. I check Voxer, I check email, I check my blog, I check everything, and I just clear everything out to start the week. And I also, every day I just log into Asana and do the tasks there. Those are my days. Monday, primarily communication, but also whatever content creation, whatever I missed from last week, anything that needs to get done. Yeah, so Monday's communication, content planning, catching up if there's anything I missed from last week. Tuesday's client calls. Wednesday's usually content creation, so doing back-end things like onboarding or writing emails or whatever. Thursday's more client calls, and then Friday is all my video editing. Now I want to dive into my day a little bit deeper because each day is kind of batched out too. So when I wake up in the morning, I first wake up, okay, so my fiance wakes up at 6:30 a.m. for work, and so I would just wake up with him. So I'm awake in bed, and I just stretch like in bed, and I think about the day. I set my intentions. I say my gratitude affirmations. I always say how thankful I am for the day and how this is going to be the best day ever. Okay, so then my fiance leaves for work, and I get out of bed around 7 every day, and I get coffee, I get water, and then I meditate for 20 minutes. I say more affirmations. I do my to-do list in my journal, which so I do my to-do list, and sometimes I journal my feelings. I don't do that every day, but that's my typical morning routine. I finish that before 8 a.m., and then starting at 8 a.m., I do work. So I do whatever the Asana tasks are for the day, usually. I do content creation, I do back-end onboarding, I do writing a sales page. That was one of the days last week. Whatever I need to do that day, I do between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. before I start this Instagram live. So for 4 hours a day at least, I just content create, work, do the back end stuff. This morning was all client coaching. So I've been talking to clients. I've literally been talking nonstop for 4 hours now. And then right after 12, I eat lunch. I go to the gym, although today I won't be doing that because I have too many calls. But every other day I go to the gym, and then I come back from the gym, I shower, I clean the house, I wash all the dishes, I clean up whatever mess I made, which is usually somehow a massive mess, even though I literally sit in this chair the entire day. Somehow the entire house is dirty. I don't know how that happens, but then I clean the house for when my fiance gets home. I prep dinner if there is no dinner for when my fiance gets home, and I do social media engagement in the afternoon. So the reason I do it this way is because in the morning, my brain's a lot better at thinking and critical thinking and writing and doing that. And then in the afternoon, my brain's better at quick attention grabbing stuff. So I engage with people on social media, I create my posts, I edit images, and I do that more creative thinking, where in the morning I do the critical thinking. For my business, social media is equally as important as the back end writing. So it's important to do both every single day. So the morning is the back end stuff, and then the afternoon is me, lunch, working out, finishing posts, and then the evening I usually do more finishing posts and closing out Asana tasks and setting up my VA for the next day. So that was my week. That was my day. Let me know how your day looks. Does it look similar? Do you guys like having critical thinking in the morning and then more creative social media in the afternoon, where you don't have to think as hard, but you do have to be really energetic? I feel a lot more energized. So I go to the gym almost every single day, but I almost never feel like it because I love working. I love working so much. So it might sound like a chill day, but honestly, I I don't like pulling myself away from work. Even lunch sometimes I'm like eating while working. Like I genuinely don't want to take a lunch break because I love what I'm doing so much. But my fourth productivity tip, which is the last one, is I change up my environment. Like I said, Tuesday is client call day where I need my laptop. I need like a relatively quiet space. I need video conferencing. I need my phone to call people. Some of them are like regular calls. So Tuesday, I need to be here in this office. When my fiance, so I went to New York, like right before I quit my job for a weekend for my friend's birthday. And while I was gone, my fiance built me this office. I mean, we already had the furniture, but it was in a totally different room, scattered apart, and he put it here in this room to build me like a little corner. The first 2 weeks, I always spent all my time in this office because I'm like, okay, I have to work in my office. But as I kept working, like the end of the last week, I've realized I wasn't being that productive. But okay, so I went to Starbucks Thursday, I went to Starbucks Friday. I got so much done both those days. And then over the weekend, I'm like, oh my God, what if I can only do work at Starbucks? But by Monday, so we had a wedding to go to that weekend, which was crazy and it was awesome. But then by Monday, I felt so tired and hungover. Like I was still hungover Monday, even though the wedding was Saturday because I'm old now. I was just so I wasn't like hungover, like headache and nauseous, but I was just so tired and like exhausted from the weekend. So I'm like, I don't really feel like working. So I went to the couch and I just worked from the couch and I wore like a blanket and a fuzzy sweater and like no makeup or anything. And that hyped me up. Like I didn't want to start working, but then once I did, I was like in it. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I like felt so good and productive that I worked from the couch the next day. And then the next day I worked from my office. And then the next day I worked from my office. And then the next day back to the couch. And I felt like that environment switch up, even just on the couch, was like really important. So I think tomorrow, when I don't have all these calls, so then the rest of this week I'm going to Maryland actually. So I'll be working from home there at my parents' house. So that's going to be another environment change. So I feel like switching your environment is so important. It's not that the coffee shop was it. It's not that the couch is it. It's not that this office is it. I think they all work in harmony with each other because they all have different perks for different reasons. My 4 productivity hacks that I figured out I really like to do in the past 4 weeks are use Asana for project management. It's everything. Use Toggle for tracking what you're doing every day and seeing how much you're actually working. I like to use the batching technique to actually get work done so I'm not so much task switching and I have every hour of the day like vaguely planned out. And then changing my environment helps so much productivity. So if you guys have any other tips that I didn't name, I would love to hear them. I know there's so many more that I totally could be using and I'm just like not yet. So I'd love to hear what you guys find helpful.